everyone, and welcome back to my reviews of The Nightmare Room. In fact, my final review of The Nightmare Room. This month, anyway. That's right, my final review of The Nightmare Room this month. And fun fact, we've already covered about half the episodes by now, this one being the halfway point. Sort of. There's like 7 more to go. There were only 13 episodes in this whole series. I know, it's hard to believe. And now that we're at the final episode, I actually found my VHS tapes of The Nightmare Room in my garage. I've been looking for them all month, and boom, there they were. Don't know how I missed them, but here they are. I got them. Who knows, I might be sitting on a gold mine with these. Probably not. Tonight's episode is a bit special because I actually read the book for this one. It's about a very interesting topic. One some of you might be familiar with. One some of you might not be very familiar with. And it's a topic that, in all honesty, pervades history, time, ourselves, our very soul. It is the concept of evil. That's right. Tonight we're going to be covering My Name is Evil. The episode, not the book. What do you think this is, a book review channel? What kind of scrub would do that?
We start our episode with our main character lost in a dark, creepy abyss, calling out for his friends. Alone and scared, he gets jumped by one of the most evil creatures of them all. Zombies.
Oh man, we're getting to the scares early on this one.
Nah, turns out this was all a gag. Our main character, Morgan Gray, was just taking a stroll through a carnival funhouse with his 2 friends, Justin and Jason.
So as I mentioned, this is the very first episode where I've actually read the book. And fun fact, I don't even remember where I got this. I just found it in my bookcase. So already getting some strange vibes here.
For the most part, the episode and the book are almost exactly the same, and I have to give it props for that. But there is one key difference that may be hard to ignore. The genders for the characters have been completely swapped. Yeah, that's right. In the book, we follow the story of an awkward teenage girl named Maggie O'Connor and her 3 triplet friends named Jilly, Judy, and Jackie. In this episode, we have Morgan, an awkward high school boy, and his 2 friends, Jason and Justin, who are definitely not related at all. The love interest / antagonist was changed too, but we'll get into that later. The fact that they did this isn't super relevant for the review. I just thought it was kind of weird and wanted to mention that. It's strange enough to warrant a mention, just because it seems so unnecessary. It's Morgan's birthday today, and tonight is going to be the night that he asks out the hottest and most popular girl in school, Kristen. Wait a minute. Is that Penny? Yeah, holy shit, that's Kaylee Cuoco.
Alright, canonically, this is now the prequel to Big Bang Theory.
Morgan tries asking Kristen out on a date, but being a total bitch, she shoots him down almost immediately.
Kristen, I was gonna ask if you'd want to maybe go with me to Kyle's party.
So basically, you want to know if I go out with you?
Yeah, basically.
Easy. It's his birthday.
For real? Aww. Happy birthday, Martin.
Morgan.
Dude, you got gum on your face.
Morgan runs off with his friends close behind to support him, and Kristen laments on how disgusted she is with Morgan, saying how she's tired of everyone saying how nice he is. Meanwhile, Morgan's friends try to calm him down. Then the tone switches quickly into a comedy routine straight out of nowhere.
Who dares throw shadows across Madame Zora's tent?
He did.
What are you afraid of, boy? That I know your mother still picks out your clothes?
No way. Once in a while.
The boys go into this creepy fortune teller's tent to learn their future or whatever fortune tellers do, but that's when Madame Zora gets to Morgan.
You bring evil. You bring evil.
The guys run out of the tent, and of course they laugh it off like it was just a joke.
Evil! Evil!
When Morgan heads home and gets into bed, that's when the weird, strange, and flashy editing happens. I don't know why they did this, but it's pretty cool. I kind of like it. There's also a lot of clowns in this weird sequence, and I have no idea why. Still, I really enjoy it. I think it's unnerving, uneasy, and unnatural. I mean, you can tell they just wanted to put this in here to make the episode seem more scary and put in all these weird sound effects. But regardless, I feel like it's a true highlight of the episode. The next morning, we see Morgan and the two Jays at high school.
Okay, I haven't mentioned this in my other reviews, but they've used this fucking set so many goddamn times. Do all the episodes take place in the same school? Is this like a Fear Street thing? Or did they just not have the budget? But yeah, seriously, get a new school for once, guys.
When bitch Kristen barges in to mix her arm around Jason.
Hey, bros before hoes, man.
It turns out that Kristen and Jason are now dating, and that makes Morgan very angry.
And boy, let me tell you, you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Morgan starts scratching a rash on his arm, and that's when Jason suddenly falls backwards.
Pushed him.
What?
You pushed him. I saw you.
I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't even look like he was anywhere near him to have pushed him. Tell me I'm not imagining things here. There's no way he could have pushed him. Right? Fuck this editing.
Of course, Jason takes it like a bitch and storms off. Morgan's other friend, Justin, goes to console him and tells him to forget about it, but he soon finds himself eating his words at the track meet. All three of the boys are competing to get into the track team by doing... Oh, you know, I forget what they call this, but I remember doing them in school. Leave it down in the comments. I'm just gonna call it jumping for now. After Morgan does his jump, it's Jason's turn. While he's prepping, Morgan gets a little riling up from Kristen, who tells him that Jason was talking shit on him.
And then you know it. And what do you mean he was gonna let me win?
He feels sorry for you. When you're not around, he calls you pathetic. Nice, but pathetic.
No, he doesn't.
Everybody knows it, Mickey. Just deal with it.
It's Morgan.
Morgan, of course, gets pissed again and starts rubbing his arm like a fucking psychopath. When Jason completes his jump, he ends up setting a new record, which ends up getting him on the team without a doubt. But then, this happens.
I like how nobody helps this kid.
Alright, another interesting scene. I like it. Those screams really stick in your head, too. Thankfully, the coach is able to save Jason before he's sucked in any further, but this gets Justin to turn on Morgan, with him thinking that Morgan was responsible.
It's true, isn't it? You did it. I watched you.
What do you mean you watched him? What the fuck did he do to give you that impression? You guys are really stretching it here.
Of course, Morgan runs away like a bitch again, with everyone in the school coming to the conclusion that Morgan must be evil. We see Morgan talking to the school nurse to see why he has a strange rash on his arm.
Fun fact, guys. The nurse here is actually played by Audrey, I'm not pronouncing this last name. She was also, as it turns out, she was in the most recent Psychonauts game as the main antagonist. And was also in some show no one ever heard of called Mad Men. Okay, I know nobody cares, I'll shut up now.
He learns here that pretty much everything that had happened was due to some really weird Final Destination shit. Like, seriously, the sinking from earlier was due to a burst pipe underground.
You know what? As a fan of Final Destination, I like the implication of that. We get to know how evil works in this world.
Unfortunately, he has to contend with this stupid ginger kid, but thankfully he gets what's coming to him. Morgan decides to head back to the carnival to talk with the fortune teller so he can find out why she called him evil. When he gets there, the park is nearly completely empty. Except, of course, for a spooky clown.
Seriously, what the fuck is the deal with this episode and clowns?
Morgan rushes into the tent of the fortune teller, and then this happens.
Okay, that scream is going in my top 10 screams list.
Turns out that Madame Zora is just a really good actor, and that old lady persona was just, well, a persona, and she was taking off her mask when Morgan walked in.
Is this Mission Impossible now? What the hell?
The faux fortune teller explains that when she called him evil, she was essentially just fucking around, and none of that crap that happened there in the tent was real at all.
What about the crystal ball?
Honestly, I really wish all carnival fortune tellers were like this. They just really don't put the effort in like this lady does.
Morgan turns around to find that his friends and Kristen are watching him from outside for some reason. And Morgan unleashes his true fury on the fortune teller.
Everybody thinks I'm a monster!
Hey, hon, it's okay. Take it easy.
This episode really does have a lot of good scenes, and it gives off a feel that Morgan is pretty much alone in this world with a power he doesn't understand. And because of how these scenes are shown, I think I approve. We see Morgan at lunch the next day, and no one wants to sit with him. His friends hate him, his school fears him, and for some reason he's eating a hamburger with a fork.
Ugh, God, no wonder no one wants to sit with you, you fucking freak. You probably put ketchup on a hot dog too, you bastard.
Nobody, I mean nobody, puts ketchup on a hot dog.
You can feel the thick tension in this room as everyone stares at Morgan with worried glances. But it's suddenly broken as Kristen wanders into the room, decides to sit with Morgan. Of course, she's still being a bitch for absolutely no reason, and harps on the fact that Morgan basically became friendless in less than a few days. She pretty much takes credit for everything that happened and mocks him for it.
Damn, that bitch evil.
We get a real sense of her motives here as she reveals that she wants Morgan to do a few things for her, and in return she'll convince the school that he isn't really evil. But Morgan has had enough of this shit. He freaks out and starts yelling at her in front of the whole school.
The perfume.
What?
This rash, it's from your perfume. You were there every time. On the stairs when Jason fell, on the track field with the sand.
Morgan, you're embarrassing me.
At the carnival when the crystal balls exploded, you were everywhere. You usually just tried to pin it on me. It's her, she's the one.
Morgan, be quiet. You are so uncool.
You're the one who's evil.
This, of course, caused Kristen to wig out and cause complete chaos over this poor excuse of a cafeteria.
You seriously expect me to believe that an entire school can fit in that cafeteria?
I said be quiet!
With everyone now aware that Kristen was the true evil, she storms out of the room, friendless like Morgan was.
Fine. Do you really think I need you, losers? What a joke. I hate you all.
And Morgan is finally saved from all these lies as everyone realizes that he was completely innocent the whole time.
Dude, man, I didn't know.
Forget it. For a while I believed it too.
2 months later, the school's holding an election. And since Morgan's back on top in terms of popularity, he's running for class president. So he goes to talk with the competition Wendy, who, surprise, surprise, is also a big bitch.
It's so cute that you're running against me.
As Morgan walks away, we see a huge clump of hair fall out of Wendy's head, and hear her blood-curdling scream as Morgan walks off.
What'd she say?
Not too much.
And that was My Name is Evil. And frankly, I think it's a good episode. Not a great episode, not a terrible episode, just a good one. It feels like a condensed witch hunt. And I kind of like that aspect. But what really brings it down for me is that the climax with Penny in the cafeteria, It's kind of lame. Kind of lame. Yeah. Not a lot of lead up into that. It just kind of happens, and it's kind of a snooze fest. I do like a lot of the editing in this episode, though, with the creepy clowns that are put in there for no goddamn reason. It looks cool, though. I like the aspect of the clowns in there, but I don't know. Give me a reason for why you're focusing on the clowns. Is Morgan afraid of clowns? Is that a thing? Frankly, though, I feel like with the clowns and with some of the editing, with some of the sound effects, I feel like the episode's kind of trying too hard to be scary, because when you get down to it, this episode really isn't that scary, like, at all. It has a good plot, good characters, but not too much scary happens. It's more of a social horror in the sense that bad things happen to the characters socially rather than physically. I don't really think we could have had like a bunch of kids like going after one kid in like a witch hunt thing. That may have pissed off, that could probably piss off parents with like a whole bully thing or something, I don't know. The episode does feel a bit rushed, but it's only like 20 minutes, so I mean, they made the best with the time they had. So as I mentioned earlier, I actually read the book for this episode, and I wanted to do a little brief comparison. So as I mentioned before, for some fucking reason they decided to gender swap the characters. I don't know why they did that, but they did that. I already mentioned that Morgan in the book is Maggie, but I didn't mention that Kristen is a character named Glenn, who has completely different motivations in the book. You see, Glenn's motivations are more to deal with another type of manipulation that isn't completely clear to me, but interesting. The ending of the book, however, I'm not really a huge fan of. It's just a little too silly. Whereas the ending of the episode, I liked a little bit more. It kind of added to the character of Morgan a little bit. Kind of overall, I think the book was a lot less rushed. That's the one thing I appreciate about it. But I think the episode is better, just because of how the characters are. Even though they're gender swapped for some reason. That's the only part that I'm kind of a little irked about. I really don't like it when studios decide to do that for no reason. Okay, there is a reason for it, and it's demographics. I don't think it's a great reason. I think you should always stick to the source material and get as close as you possibly can. But the Nightmare Room seems to have a thing for demographics. If you've noticed in a lot of the episodes I've covered, they seem to have this thing where they have to have the main character with one friend who is a girl and one friend who is black. They seem to have a strange trend of doing that in almost every episode. There has to be at least one white kid who's a guy, one white kid who's a girl, and one black kid. That's it. That's the magic number right there. That's the trinity of the Nightmare Room characters. You need to have all three of those things. Okay, I've been rambling for like 20 minutes now, so let's wrap this shit up. Okay, so, book is okay, episode is better. What do I rank the episode? Let's get into that. 7 out of 10. I really like this one. Even though there are a few things that I kind of question, it was a really enjoyable experience. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for tonight's episode. I am tired as fuck, and you guys probably are too. I'm forgetting my lines already, Jesus Christ. Let's just finish this shit up. Thank you for watching, and have a scary day.